Oh, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And we got another round of the college football playoffs finally in the books. It was a little bit delayed with the obviously delaying of Notre Dame and Georgia playing in the Sugar Bowl. And still prayers out for everybody in New Orleans that suffered, was part of that terrible terrorist tragedy there. Notre Dame beating Georgia, Schlegs, 23-10. When the brackets came out, I looked at it and said, I think Ohio State is the best team in the top bracket. Now, Oregon's going to be really good. That'll be a tough one. But I was like, in the bottom, I thought Notre Dame had a chance to be that team. And I knew they were playing Georgia. And I don't know if it would have mattered if Carson Beck would have played. Gunnar Stockton, I thought, played okay. But they had a lot of the same issues, Schlegs, that they had throughout the season with their inability to catch the ball on the perimeter. And frankly, this Notre Dame team is big and physical up front. They run the ball really well with their quarterback and running backs. The receivers do enough, and they get them involved in the run game too. And then defensively, this is the best Notre Dame. This is the best Notre Dame team that I've seen in their ability to play defense. They're fast, they're physical, and even without Stills inside, like they're a very, very talented team. And they beat Georgia up, man. I haven't seen Georgia get beat up like that in quite some time. And some of it was they couldn't make plays on the perimeter, but Schlegs, they got handled inside.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you go back and you look at the games that Georgia did lose, I think wasn't it Kentucky was one? Oh no, that was a close one that they had.
So they could have lost
13-12, right? They could have lost, but it was the physicality up front, the inability to run the football for them. Like that opened up everything. And again, when you had to become one-dimensional, they struggled. And that's where you had the interceptions. But even the late rally that they had versus Alabama that came up short, it was just the inability to run the football. And that was a high-scoring affair versus Alabama. But really what set the stage, right? We talk about winning the middle 8. Notre Dame won the middle 2 because, it was 3-3. And it was just one of those stalemate, old-school, classic, big brand football. And boom, all of a sudden, touchdown field goal, 13-3. Then opening kickoff, 98 yards, touchdown. Now you're behind the 8 ball, and you really haven't had a lot of things running. You got a first game starter in Stockton, like it was up against them. And then there were some other things, and they were terrible on third down, but they were terrible on third down because it was third and long quite a bit. And that when you can't, and again, we've talked about this, right? The evolution, even in the Oregon game for Oregon, they were trying to run the football, run it inside, run it outside, nothing. Now you're in third and long. The teams that are able to get it to where it's third and short, third and manageable, are the ones that can convert to sustain the drives. And Georgia just didn't have that ability to do so in this game.
Yeah, they couldn't get it done up front. And that's something that's been a calling card, Schlegs, of Georgia for years, is when they've had success, they've manhandled people up front, both on the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. And defensively, like Notre Dame was able to run the football on them. Yep. It wasn't necessarily the prettiest thing in the world, and it wasn't like they went out there and rushed for 200 yards, but they rushed for $154, and Riley Leonard rushed it 14 times for 80 yards. Yep. And he also, Schlegs, was a chain mover for them in critical situations. Everybody knew who was getting the ball. You know what? They trade the tight end. They motion the wide receiver. But at the end of the day, they're doing all that, and then Riley Leonard's running downhill, and they were able to get enough of a push, and he was able to have enough success. So he rushed it for 80, he threw it for 90. It's not something you're going to write home about as this offensive production. Ironically, Gunnar Stockton threw for 234. Yeah. He threw for a touchdown, and Riley Leonard threw for a touchdown too. And he had a nice little zone read, a play action, and they ran the double slants down there on the goal line. But if you think about this, Notre Dame got a field goal, and then they got a turnover.
Which was a killer because that turnover was Georgia going in the red zone, going to score on like a 14-play drive that came up nothing.
Yeah. And so if you sit there, you talked about, Schlegs, what was it, the middle, what'd you say, the middle?
Like middle 8.
The middle 8. But really, for them, it was the middle 1.5 because they get a field goal. Georgia has the one play. Gunnar Stockton gets stripped. That was the fumble I was talking. He gets strip stacked. Gets strip stacked by R.J. Oben, number 9, I believe, off the edge. I mean, he just blows by Georgia's tackle, who was a turnstile. You get the ball, boom, one play, Gunnar Stockton score. All of a sudden, okay, instead of going into half 6-3, it's 13-3, and Notre Dame got the ball coming out. And poof, David Copperfield, one play, return, touchdown to the house. And now all of a sudden, you're down. It was 6-3. It was 13-3 going to half, and now it's 20-3. And you're not a team that has been explosive all year. And so that was tough. That was a very tough situation. They were able to battle back. But Notre Dame, the way that they've won Schlegs all year is they would get a lead and they lean on you.
Yep.
Lean on you. And that's what they did. They were able to get that lead right there in the middle four, really. And boom, once they had a 2-score lead, they just leaned on Georgia the rest of the game.
Yeah, it was, when you're looking at this and just even looking down the line versus that Penn State matchup is going to be a really good matchup because they're kind of similar. So I think Drew Aller is a better passer, but they both want to be able to run the football. And again, you go back to Notre Dame's first game versus Indiana. Guys, like Love rushed for, I think, 108 yards, 98 and like 8 or 9 carries. 98 of that came on one carry. And I think they rushed for $190 maybe in that game. Yeah. But they rushed a lot of times, and that average decreased. Like Indiana made an adjustment to stop the run. Like that's what, again, the way to beat Notre Dame is to be able to stop the run. Like all these teams right now, man, it's the ability to control the line of scrimmage on both sides. And it's very simple, being able to stop the run and also being able to affect the quarterback. But you can do those things because now you put them in a position to where they have to pass the football. It makes it more, it makes it easier so guys already know, like, what's the down and distance, what's the change, what do they got to do on this drive? They can pin their ears back and go get after the quarterback.
Yeah. And then, like you said, once you got that lead, like you said, you can get after them. That's what Ohio State did to Oregon. You saw Notre Dame able to do that. Now, listen, Georgia had opportunities to get back into it. They were able to move the football, but they had so many drops on the perimeter, and it was something that had plagued them all year. And that's what, people talk about Gunnar Stockton being a backup. So I thought he moved around pretty well. I thought he did a pretty good job managing it. I didn't think he made any critical errors. Like you look at the fumble that he put down, I mean, that's very similar to what happened to Carson Beck. Like I don't put that on a quarterback when you get blindside blow by and people are saying you got to feel him in the pocket. Like I can't sit there and dump that on him. So, that ultimately happened. And I don't know if having Carson Beck in there makes that much of a difference. I really don't think that it does.
Well, and they also talked about, like, this is the point of the season. Look at the teams that are in this. Notre Dame rallies around a leader in Leonard. And we saw that on that, I think it was like a 3rd down conversion. It might have been a 4th down where he goes and like flips over the guy. I'm going to move the chains. I'm going to put my body on the line at all costs. We're going to go get this. Like that's a leader. And that leader has to be at the number 1 position. And this is for all levels. That's the quarterback. You look at the way that Will Howard's doing it at Ohio State. You look at, hey, Texas was ineffective running the football versus Arizona State. It all fell on Quinn Ewers, and he threw for over 300 yards and made some really good throws in that game. You have to go do that. And then at Penn State, Aller can be that guy as well with his legs and also with his arm. But all of these teams also do what? They play great defense. It's really nice that in 2024, 2025, you're still going back that defense travels, defense wins games. You still have to control the line of scrimmage, and your best players have to be your hardest workers and your leaders, and that is pivotal at the quarterback position.
It really is. And like you said, these teams, I was talking with Brandon Beam this morning on the Morning Juice. I go, you look at it, Quinn Ewers, 4-year player. Will Howard, 5-year player. Drew Aller, 3-year player, 2nd-year starter, though. Notre Dame with Riley Leonard, 5-year guy. Like they have veteran quarterbacks. And none of those quarterbacks, and even Quinn Ewers this year, he's probably going to come back for another season because I don't think he's going to be a first rounder. None of these guys I would define as first round quarterbacks. So it's not that you have some elite signal caller that's throwing it all over the yard. It's running the football. It's being really good on defense, being great. These teams have been pretty good tackling teams. You can be dynamic, but there's a physicality to it. And so while the SEC, like Texas, is the only team that's made it through, the other 3 teams, like I joked, like it's Great Lakes region. It's tough. It's physical. It's teams that can run the football. And all of these teams have multiple guys, and whether it's a couple running backs like Penn State, whether Notre Dame, where you have running backs, quarterback combo, similar to Ohio State. Texas is probably the one team that's a little bit different with this because Ewers really isn't a runner, but they were bringing in Arch Manning to be that runner for them because they know that was a vital piece of being able to line up and ultimately run the football. And so it's a pretty interesting phenomenon that we're sitting here in 2025, the first 12-team playoff. And I don't know if it's the teams that are the best teams, but I'll say this. It's the teams that are playing the best right now. And usually what happens to be the best are the teams that travel. And Schlegs, what travels? What do you pack with you? You pack your run game. You pack your defense. That's Mickey Marotti. Your toughness, buddy. What does he say?
Your tough gutchies. Pack your tough gutchies.
Your tough gutchies, buddy. That's run the football, stop the run, getting after it. And that's what these teams all possess. So really excited about that. Got a huge show for us today. And yesterday he was snoozing around in the morning, but they had a full day yesterday, Schlegs. They came in at 2:00. They got out of there at like 7:30. But which is good because you don't want guys laying around sleeping all day. Pretty healthy, but Buckeye, Lathan Ransom, as what was it? Pat McAfee called him Lathan Rantruxum, if you will, after knocked himself out. But he did have a sack. He may have missed them the first time, but was able to double back around and come through on it in a big way. And I love it because him and Cody Simon played phenomenal. And those two guys down the middle have done a great job for the Buckeyes all year. But Lathan Ransom, who always joins the program as often as he can, is going to be here with us to talk about this game and what it's like moving forward. Before we get going here, parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouthguards, trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards are scientifically tested to absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. They feature 3 layers of advanced protection, patented use of carbon fiber. They 3D print that thing right to your own grill. That means more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication, so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. ExportGuards.com/Bobby. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Lathan Rantruxum coming up next.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Make sure you tune in.
I love you, Cleveland.
All right, now welcome back in the program. Our guy, Lathan Ransom, back from the West Coast, back from home, if you will, here to join us. Excited to be somewhere in the Woody, I think, right now.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Getting some film, man. Lathan, man, just give us a breakdown, like what the couple of days heading into it was like being out there in California and the preparation for the game.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Day and our coach has done such a great job as the preparation. We went out there to California, man. There was no going to see Disneyland. There was no, enjoying the trip. It was all business, staying in the hotel, extra meetings, extra walkthroughs as much as we can get through, and playing the game, and then get right back on the road. And now we're getting ready for Texas. So I love the preparation that the coach has been doing us so far.
Hey, walk us through a little bit, because I've heard you guys say it. I've heard Coach Day say it. And somebody asked him today in his press conference about how do you get your players to keep that edge? And you and I and Bobby know the answer to this, but he kept going back and saying that the focus is on another opportunity to wear the scarlet and gray, another opportunity to go out and compete with your brother. Like, tell everybody, like, what does that actually mean? Because a lot of people outside of people that have been there and done that don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, especially having a veteran group, that came back for a main goal, and we're fighting to continue to play together. We're fighting for more. I mean, we put so many personal goals and stuff aside this year, to continue to play together, to continue to enjoy, the next month that we had together, man. So every game we're going out there, executing on the high level, sacrificing much time and stuff to be in here for extra meetings, extra film, do anything we can, to gain the extra edge against the other team, because we just want to continue to, play together and end this way, how we wanted it to end.
Talk about the physical intensity you guys have had, and that's something that, Lathan, you watched the game, you could see it. I was talking to my guy AJ this morning. He was on the sideline doing it with Pat McAfee, and they asked, he's like, "How do you feel about the game?" He's like, "They're going to win." And like, "How can you be so sure?" He's like, "I'm watching them warm up. There's a focus, there's a passion, there's an intensity there that I'm not saying it hasn't been there all year, but really these last couple of weeks, you can see on the defensive side of the ball, and there's an aggression like." Everybody's flying the football at a high speed. Is that preparation? Where's all that stemming from?
A little bit of all that. It's preparation, but the biggest thing is it's a chip on our shoulder. We go back to, we didn't end the season that we wanted to, so we go into the Tennessee game with a big chip on our shoulder. But then a lot of people, talking about, oh, we're gonna feel good about ourselves, this and that, and then we keep that chip on our shoulder and going and playing against Oregon, and we're gonna continue to have that shoulder as these playoffs continue. But yeah, I think just continuous to have a chip on our shoulder, have an unfinished business, and then not getting complacent. And I think the leaders are doing a great job of reminding the team of that.
Talk to us a little bit about the difference in this Oregon game versus the first one, especially defensively, because you guys started very, very fast. It was extremely physical. Was that part of like the preparation? Was that part of the adjustments made to potentially simplify the defense to allow guys to play faster? Is it a little bit different how we're running with three safeties and you or Caleb are coming down playing that middle box run support guy, which, again, like why they call you the Ram, first of all, that's why I wore my Real Truck shirt, so you should go get a Ram. We got to work on an NIL deal because you should be driving a truck. You're in the Midwest. You know me, right, which makes you a little bit of a hillbilly just by knowing me. We get you a big old Ram truck, outfit it, but you came in and laid the wood on a great run play for zero gain, bro. I mean, like, you're pulling the trigger, you're seeing that stuff. Like, that just doesn't happen. That comes with a preparation and a knowledge base of the defense. So what's the difference from game one Oregon to game two Oregon in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, well, I think Will said it right. I mean, what was so frustrating when the first time we played Oregon, I think that was our worst defensive performance, was we beat ourselves. I mean, miscommunication, not being aligned, not being set. And that was frustrating. Not that I thought about that as the season continued, how much more intense you got to be at practice, how much more intense you got to be, because you can't play your defense if you're not set up. You can't play your defense not communicating. So that's what we, a big thing that we hit on going to this game, and that's what we were allowed to do, man. Our coaches did a great job, scheming them up and just running what we were taught. But our biggest thing was, communicating, being ready, being set, having our feet in the ground, and being able to play fast and fly around. I think that we were able to do that.
So have you been able to dig into Texas at all? I know that you guys just got back. What's this schedule like looking? I mean, obviously you play next Friday. Do you have any idea what the week's going to look like moving forward?
Yeah, I have a good idea. We're in today, watching film, working out, and getting ready. Got practice tomorrow. So, yeah, I've already jumped into a little bit of Texas. I mean, they're a great team, got a lot of weapons on the outside. I think Quinn doing a great job. They got good running backs, good offensive line. I mean, all these teams left in the playoffs are all great teams and all, showed, for at least me on the defensive side, different challenges, when looking at them. But no, man, it's excited to go out there, play Texas back in the Cotton Bowl. I didn't get to play in that last year, so I'm excited. And we can't wait. And we know that, their OC Sark he's a great OC. I think one of the best on college football. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, and their head coach calling plays. And then you got Quinn, who you were with, right? Like, he was here. He was a Buckeye. And again, when guys leave, you cheer on them to have success, and now you get to go face them. Have you already started the process and think about, after they won that game, like if you potentially get to come on a safety blitz, which, by the way, you did a really nice job, swim move to the outside, kept your balance. Tyleek, I think, was the one that filled him and helped bring him back to you when you got that sack. But, like, have you already thought about – because I wanted to ask AJ this because he had to tackle his brother-in-law when we were playing in the Fiesta Bowl. Like, have you already thought about some things that you're going to say to Quinn, when you're able to take him down to the ground?
I haven't got that far into yet. I'm really just, focused on, just doing my job first. When that comes, we'll see in the moment. But now, right now, I'm focused on, doing my job, giving Quinn different looks at safety, and yeah, that's what I'm focused on right now.
Let me ask you this: how fun? Because you guys, honestly, Bob and I have talked about this. Like, it's probably the one of the best of all time safety duos in Ohio State, 100% in college football. How fun is it playing with that back end? Again, you play with guys that have been there for a long time, and Denzel and IGB, who's been there for 2 years, and then Jermaine's playing really good, and Jordan and Lorenzo. Like, how fun is it going out there and just playing ball together and being able to fly around? And did you give Caleb shit for 2 drop INTs and Cody for 1? Like, you got to keep it real with the Lathan.
Oh yeah. So first of all, like you said, I think this is the most fun I've had. I was just talking about the other day. This is the most fun I've had, since I've been at Ohio State. Just being able to go in this year. I mean, the whole defense, seeing all the dudes make play. I mean, watching our O line, D line dominate. Watching the linebackers flying around. Cody getting up, juiced up. Sonny making plays, like you said. Denzel, IGB, Jordan, Jermaine, all those dudes making plays. Caleb. I mean, it's a lot of fun out there. I mean, you see it. We're locked in. We're focused, but we're all celebrating our biggest fans, and then. Yeah, like you said, you see me in the game. I'm Caleb. I gave Caleb much credit. I think he should have had 3, honestly. But, he had one. Cody dropped one. But, man, I don't think I've had more fun playing football, in my life. So I'm just happy. Like you said, we're fighting to continue to play, continue to have fun with my brothers, man, because, like you said, it's been fun and it's exciting because it continue to do this and hopefully, leave our mark.
Well, defense is fun. Like, 'cause you can always play with all that energy and you can feed off the crowd. Like, them being loud while you're playing is a positive thing. What was the environment like out there? I know California it's super close to Oregon, obviously, and there's a strong contingent there. But watching it on television, it looked like there was a really good percentage of Buckeye fans, and you could kind of feel that energy at least coming through the television. It looked like there was a lot of juice there when you guys were making plays.
Yeah, the Buckeye fans, I mean, they showed out, man. They showed out. They were loud. They were juiced up. I didn't really hear the Oregon fans too much during the game, but I heard the Buckeye fans. They were loud. The band was loud, juiced up. Everybody was loud. So, it's awesome. We feed off them. So, if the Rose Bowl looked like that, I can only imagine. I'm excited what the Cotton Bowl is going to look like.
So, Lathan, you've played now. This is your 5th year now playing at Ohio State, and been through a lot of ups, a lot of downs. As you're coming through there and you're dropping down from showing high, and you see a hole open up and the running back's running through there. I mean, take us through your little truck stick when you smacked old boy as he was coming through them. Now, that's one of the best fills that I've seen by any safety. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of flowers here on that one and just walk us through that play of kind of what you saw and how that played out.
I appreciate that. Bobby be stingy with the flowers, so you got to take what you can get. But
well, don't worry. I already threw a water bottle to Cody this morning just to make sure he could catch it.
But no, like you said, I think we schemed it up well. Coach knows called the perfect play call. I came the free hitter, and then like you said, when you get a free shot on a running back, you get a free shot on anyone. Your eyes light up and you're excited and ready to set the tone for the whole game. So yeah, like you said, I was excited. Got with a bunch of juice, and then. It's funny when you play a team like Oregon or Texas and stuff. There's so much tempo. There ain't too much celebrating. We do a celebrate, but you gotta get back and get the call and get the checks in just because of the tempo. So no, it's a lot of fun, man. And yeah, definitely was a big hit.
Hey, walk people through this because this is something because we talk about how do you keep the juice, but you guys these last 2 games have started very very fast, especially defensively. 3 and outs, which helps set up the offense, give them good field position, and then it's just an avalanche. Not an avalanche of crimson that was said on ESPN, but an avalanche of scarlet, okay? So I'll make that adjustment for him because I like Fowler. But that being said, going into half, they go down and they score. And I know you don't want to give them shit, right? What was said at that moment? And then, because the biggest thing is when you're playing good on good, Lathan, like sometimes you're going to get theirs. You know what I mean? What is said, what needs to be said during those moments when they were able to get 2 touchdowns, Oregon, later in the game. What are those things that help keep that edge for 60 minutes when you're playing great defense like you guys do?
Yeah, that's what's so frustrating is, and when we look at those drives where they were able to score, and you look at them drives where they were extend those drives. Like I said again, we're beating ourselves. It's not them, beating us 1-on-1 or them making a big call. It's us not doing our job, us not executing at the high level that we're supposed to execute at. So when we get into halftime and stuff, we're holding each other accountable. No matter, I mean, if we're up 30, if we're up 20, it doesn't matter. Like we have a standard, and we weren't holding up to the standard on some of them drives. So we get here, and I think that's the biggest thing is Coach Day does such a great job at is talking about in the playoffs, like the dudes that continue to play is the guys that are learning from the mistakes, from the wins and the losses, and which we've done prior and we're continuing to do is hold each other accountable no matter what the win is, what the score is. We have stuff that we need to fix and that we plan on fixing, yesterday and today. And, now we're getting ready for Texas. But you got to fix those problems. You got to fix those issues that show up.
All right, so lastly, before we get you out of here, Lay, I mean, I know you guys have been practicing. You don't Christmas, you're working right around it. I mean, did we get a chance to do anything fun on New Year's? I mean, relax at least. I mean, did your girl come down to the game? What all do we get going on here?
I was asleep getting ready for the game by 10 o'clock. I was asleep, so I'll celebrate New Year's and Christmas when the season's over. But right now, I'm focused on ball. That's it.
All right. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you taking some time with us. Keep grinding, dude. We're excited to see next Friday down in Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Now, one thing, this is tough for Buckeye Nation, Lathan, because you were going to literally be in Dallas. Like it'd be like playing in Cleveland and not expecting Buckeye fans to be there. So there's going to be a lot of Longhorn fans. I think Ohio State will show up, but this could be the most interesting environment you guys have played in.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's funny that we don't want it any other way. We're excited. We knew going into the season the possibilities of what teams we could play, where we could play them at, and we wouldn't want any other way. We're excited to play, 3 away games. Going into it, and we wouldn't want it no other way. So we're excited for that. I know Buckeye Nation going to do their best to support, but we wouldn't want it no other way.
Absolutely. Well, Lathan, we appreciate it, man. Great game. Congrats to the defense. Congrats to the offense. You guys did a heck of a job. Congrats to the seniors, the leaders. And keep going, man. Like you said, 2 down, 2 to go. And hopefully I can't wait till Friday night. And the Schlag's not going to be down there. So we'll be down there rolling with you guys. And hopefully Friday night watching – I don't know what it takes to get – how does Coach Day – do you know how he picks the guy that gets to flip over to the next week? I mean, is that just
I think it's always Donnie. It's always Donnie.
Is it always Donnie? All right.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll get a chance to see Donnie in his home state, hopefully, flipping that one more time on Friday night. Well, you enjoy it. Get back to watching film, man. We'll catch up soon.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
He's one of the best, man. Lathan Ransom, love that guy. Does a great job. And they got a lot of praise to go around, Schlags, but you can't just rub their shoulders too much. I mean, there's always, like you said, there's always plays to be made. There's more plays to be had. So hopefully they'll be able to continue doing that and do it in a big way. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, Schlags. We got more stuff to get into because there's a guy that I don't think many people are talking about because he hasn't really shown up in the stat sheet a lot, especially on the defense. That has kind of, to me, been the straw that's been stirring the drink. We'll get into that. I'll let you know who that is here next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And we just had Lathan Ransom on. He's made a ton of plays. Cody Simon, has made a ton of plays. Jack Sawyer, JT, Tuimoa, ton of plays. Caleb Downs making plays. You see IGB, Denzel, Jordan Hancock, like you're getting PBUs. But there's one, and it's really two guys, but one guy that I've seen do it, especially a lot of this, and it's really more two of them. But this guy in the last 5 games, Schlegs, has 0 sacks. He, I think, has maybe 1 or 2 TFLs, but nothing crazy. But he's helped facilitate, if you will, a ton of plays up front. And that's Tyleek Williams. And you look at the pressure that's being had. And you mentioned him with Lathan as he came through on the sack. Lathan wrapped around. Tyleek kind of forced Dylan Gabriel back to him so he could get back in the play. And as much as everybody talks about these guys who have made so many plays, you and I play linebacker. And so like the position that never gets the credit is usually the D tackles. And they're the ones that get pushed up front. They hold the blocks for the linebackers. And the fact that he's been playing at such a high level and he's been involved in so many plays, but hasn't gotten them. I think Ty Hamilton had half a sack last game, and like he's gotten a little bit of some recognition there. But those guys have done such a great job inside that it's allowed the rest of this defense to go play really fast, to go play really physical, and to make plays at a high level. And I want to make sure that these guys get the credit that they deserve because they've done such a good job in there. And I think that they're really the unsung heroes of this squad.
I'm going to say Bob, I completely agree with you. TNT, remember they were talking about that?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. The difference in this year and last year is the rotation and the confidence that K-Mac can step in, a Hero Canoe can step in, and Edric Houston has turned in and stepped in. Those guys being able to allow them to rotate and not have Tyleek and Ty Hamilton do 70 reps in a game, like never come out of the game, allows them to be better. There was a great run. It was going to Oregon's left. They reached Tyleek, boom, came inside, got flat down the line, and made a tackle, or was in on a tackle, I think, with JT. They're doing a lot more stunts. Boom, he comes outside. They force it back. Jack's able to get in, or they go one-on-one, and he gets penetration and just pushes the pocket back to where he can't step up. That allows a Jack Sawyer and a JT and a Caden or a KJ to go and make a play. Like, that's really what they do because quarterbacks are taught, I feel the pressure. I can just step up. Well, if I can't step up because there's a 335-pound dude in my way, I have to go back and roll out. And now our guys are also doing a really good job of maintaining the edge, Bob. I saw Caden do that on one play where he came out. He peeked inside and was like, oh, shit, I can't go in there. That's not my job. Went back outside. Gabriel had to step back in, and there was a sack. So, again, I think our guys and our rush integrity, our rushing lanes, but also the ability to rotate has allowed those guys to play fresher. And when you go deep in a playoff run, your dudes have to be on the field. If you look at Ohio State right now where they are, outside of the Seth and the Jimmies, right, and injuries that are contact related, our dudes are pretty healthy, man, and that's how you make the run. We won the national championship. The only player that was missing that year from the original starting 22 was the quarterback position. And in the playoffs, to make a run, dudes have to be on the field.
And that's one of the things, like checking today, pretty healthy again. And this team had suffered a lot early on. But once you kind of coalesce legs and guys start playing really well together and you start seeing what they're able to do, then you want to keep those guys together and keep that nucleus of the group. And so you had the offensive line shuffling early on. And now you've kind of got this rotation, these guys that are rolling through there, and you feel really good about it. You've got the guys on defense, and they've been pretty healthy all year. They've been nicked up, and there's been some issues with some things, and a lot of it's been precautionary. But what's tremendous is the fact that at this point, they've been able to now be healthy. You come back, you can go look at this. You got a couple days, and then you get into your normal week, and you're able to go through this A, B, C, D, get ready for the game, and then play. And hopefully, God willing, they'll have another really solid game, and they'll come out of that thing healthy. Because when you can do that, and Schlegs, this is the one thing we talked about this a lot. People got upset, like, they're not scoring enough points, and they're not playing fast enough in tempo. All that went into the process of trying to get here and to make sure you could get here with all your guys. And so the fact that all these guys are healthy now, it's not just an accident. There's a little bit of luck involved, as you know and I know, and things can always happen. But it was intentional of what they were doing all year long to get to this level.
Yeah. I mean, Mick talks about it, man, in the winter and the summer, like you're building up tissue density and resiliency. Like people, I'm not going to get on a tangent of strength conditioning, but the guys are prepared, their bodies are physically prepared for this. But to your point, tempo, Ryan always talked about utilizing tempo as a weapon, as a tool, not the end all be all. When we got it and we have a formation that we like, we can go up tempo. But you also know what tempo does potentially to a defense, which allows them, you go 3 and out, it allows them to go back on the field faster. That also impacts the time possession. But again, all of this is being managed in real time, but it's also being thought out and processed in a game plan, but also how you practice. And this week is a great evidence of it. You can't just go out there and like, oh, we get an extra day, we're going to beat them down. When you have and that's the other thing about this, when you have a very veteran team, you don't necessarily need a shit ton of practice time to be able to go out there and do it because they can retain a lot of that stuff in the classroom to then go out and just do a walkthrough or a jog through, as opposed to, hey, we're going to have a full-fledged practice. And what they'll normally do in these instances, and this also goes back to this, when you have really good depth and really good talent and you continue to do that, those reps that you need to see your scheme versus those fits from a coach's perspective, those reps aren't going on the ones all the time. That's something that a lot of people don't understand, the difference between college football, professional football. Professional football, you only got 70 dudes total. You can only travel 53, and there's only 45 that dress. But all those reps are being allocated for 70, whereas in college football, you have all these different reps that can be allocated for 110. And that looks very different. And then you got to be like strategic in your approach to your practice and what you need your veteran guys who handle the majority of the reps on game day that they need. You have to be able to dose it appropriately. And I think that Ryan and Mick and the coordinators have all done a really, really good job of managing that aspect of the game.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to put a pin in that. We get some headlines, some big news coming out of the game, some funny stuff involving the Buckeye quarterback who, hey, normally those guys get all the
Oh,
love.
my gosh. I can't wait for you to talk about this because me and Steph talked about it.
Oh, so believe me, everybody was talking about it because it looked hilarious. We got that coming up next.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Make sure you tune in.
I love you, Cleveland.
All right, welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show. Now we've got some headlines, and it's the headline that everybody wanted to see. Will Howard winning the Rose Bowl. Doing a great job out there. Phenomenal stats we'll get into in a moment. So what happens when you win, Schlegs? Everybody wants their flowers. Literally, you want the roses. You want to go up there and sit and have everybody love on you and get up to the front. You know, be one of the lead dogs up on stage. Well, Will Howard, there he was. Tyleek's maybe giving him a rose. He almost looks like it's like Rapunzel Schlegs up in the tower. Tyleek's Rapunzel. Will's just standing there looking like, can I get some love? And the dude's like beasting him back. Look, hey, can I get up here? Wait, no, buddy. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Listen,
No,
here's my comment.
1 second. Speak about it. No
Yeah,
love.
they're like, that's
No
a
love.
freaking quarterback. All right, here's the real scenario. Here's the real scenario for everybody. If this was 2005 and that jersey number was switched to 42, and we had social media back then, Bobby would have thrown that son of a bitch off the fucking deal. All right, excuse my language. He would have grabbed that blue ass tie. Like, first off, why the hell are you wearing this blue ass tie? And he would have choke slammed him. And then Tress, I could just see Tress chewing on a cigar in his meeting room. Bob, like, why? And then it would be like Fick would be like, Schleich, go get him. And I'm just like, hey, Bob, you know what? Take my spot. I'm up there. You got it. No, this is stupid. This isn't right. Hey, tell this guy. And then now it's that guy's problem. Like that poor guy's over there weighing $140. You know, he's counting up, doing a head count. We already got 25.
You got a weight limit. He said there's a weight limit. Like I would have said, hey, buddy, you get off then.
Guys are getting on the scale before they go up there. Your comment would be a weight limit. Where's the scale? Where's the scale? How do you know? Are you a freaking, mathematician? You got a doctorate degree in mathematics? How the hell you know how much they are? Coach Mick, you brought Coach Mick over. Coach Mick, hey, tell me, what's the weight limit? 2,500 pounds or whatever. Boom, that's like 500 pounds up there.
Well, Schleich, this poor guy, throw his stats up here, Pat. I mean, this is what this guy's doing out there. You look at the numbers he's putting up.
Look at Tyree.
I mean, being just a straight boss, as you look 17 to 26, 319, 3 tugs, no interceptions. Dude's just straight balling, dropping dimes, and he's just standing there, Schleich, like outside the velvet rope. Hey, I'm sorry. We can't let you in, sir. We've got a weight limit. Hey, I mean, and Will's such a good dude. I'm with you, Schleich. To tell you the truth, I would either A, pulled that guy down, or B, I just would have jumped up over top of the flowers and rolled over there like, hey, I'm sorry.
You would have got up some way somehow. You would have just went to the other side. You'd be like, okay, fine, and just jumped. You probably would have jumped. Knowing you probably would have jumped on, climbed up, messed up roses, took roses, probably thrown a rose at that guy. You get a rose. I'm on stage. How are you going to get me off?
Absolutely.
And you know what? I don't blame you. I would have been like, hey, man, that's just Bob doing Bob things, guys.
Bob doing Bob things. And then, Schleich, we've got J.J. Smith, his numbers here through 2 playoff games, 13 receptions, 290 yards, 4 TDs. I mean, that for some guys, that's like half a season. He's got that in 2 games, and he has been virtually unstoppable. And people saw him early on. You felt like he was waking up and opening up. I mean, this dude is fully on display now. If you want to say he's fully blossomed, Schleich, now everybody knows what a fully operational Death Star looks like, being J.J. Smith.
Bob, you know that, you were in the building. I was in the building. People that knew me and asked about people, I was like, listen, this guy's an absolute freak from day one. He loved to compete. I think the only time he lost in any type of competition was the first week and a half when he was on campus, and then he just never lost again. He won everything. The guy just loves to compete. He doesn't say something. He's very humble, but he's also very confident. He's not cocky. When you ask him, can anybody guard you? The answer is no. Why? Because you go against some of the best in the country every single day at practice, and they struggle to be 25% against him. I just remember there was one play where Denzel covered him. It might have been Denzel or IGB. I don't remember. It was on the far sideline in the Woody going to the grass fields, and you couldn't have played a ball better and deflected it, but it kind of went up. And JJ's running full speed, all right, on a go route. Literally goes up for the ball, doesn't get it. Denzel, somebody hits it, plants, goes back, and makes the catch.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? And then all the older dudes are like, we've seen enough. Put him on the shelf. I don't need to see anymore. That was the 3rd week of spring football. Yeah. You already knew. But then he just continued to work, continued to develop. I think he worked a lot with AT in the weight room and stuff. And Coach Mick, they did a great job. And here's the thing. He's hungry for more. He wanted Brian Hartline to challenge him more. He wants people in the weight room to challenge him, to make him better. When you just have that ability, I just want your best to make me my best, relationship with people, you're going to get the best out of them and they're going to get the best out of you, man. It's reciprocal in that fashion. And he does that, and he's only 19 years old. It's fun to see.
All right. That's terrific. He's the best. He's dominating. And you know what else is dominating? Tailgate Talk, brought to you by Real Truck, coming up next.
Get the most out of work, life, and all your outdoor adventures with top-selling upgrades for your truck. Guaranteed fit, free shipping, easy install, expert support, and thousands of dealers just a click away. Bring your truck to life. Real Truck. Upgrade today and save between $50 and $400 on select Real Truck products. Visit realtruck.com/specials.
All right, Real Talk, Tailgate Talk brought to you by our friends at Real Truck. How about that? Realtruck.com, Schlegs. You got the shirts on, they've got the hats, they've got everything. They've got stuff, trucks, Jeeps, Broncos. They've got truck covers, they've got Jeep tops, they've got tailgate, they got all kinds of stuff for you, the inside, the outside. Go check them out at realtruck.com. Bring your truck to life, the ultimate tailgate party. Get it ready for winter. And when you go there and you spend $100, use promo code Bobby at checkout. You get the free Real Truck hat. Schlegs has got it right there.
Look at it.
It's fantastic. $100 is so easy to spend because they got so much great stuff. So go check it out, realtruck.com. All right, Schlegs, we got some great tweets for you.
I love tweets.
Well, everybody loves it. I just lost it as I was moving through here. My tweet from the other day, because I put something out there. I was hoping we'd get some hate. Like, everybody's got all the love now, and there's tons of love here. All right, here we go, Schlegs. This is coming from Fisherman. Are you worried about the 3 third and longs the Buckeyes gave up? And one of them, Schlegs, was what, a 3rd and 22,
Yeah.
like a 3rd and 16. They did have 3 third longs they gave up. And as of note, Oregon was 8 of 19, I want to say, on 3rd down.
Okay, so the one that was 3rd and 22 that actually became 4th and 1 because it was 21-yard gain. Remember that?
Yeah.
And even on that play, Bob, and this is where it goes back to what Lathan said on some of those instances, was it not was like they beat us, like we just didn't execute, because on that particular play, I believe a corner came up on either the quarterback or the running back, like in the flat. Like, you don't need to go do that. It's 3rd and 22, which created that gap because our guys were playing over the top. Why were our guys playing over the top? And other people were like, well, why aren't we being aggressive? They didn't need to make that halftime adjustment. Guys, it's 34-8. Like, you want them to make them earn everything. Okay, you're going to give up a 6-minute, 75-play-yard drive, but they're going to have to earn it every single time. And you also got to remember, they're the number 1 team in the country. They can score really fast. They got great talent.
Yeah.
So I think so many times we want to nitpick these things as opposed to, well, let's just learn from them, understanding down the distance. And our guys know it. Like, it's like beating a dead horse. Like, you know it, but you still in live bullets, and you're like, you want to go make a play. Just understand, giving up 18, giving up 16 doesn't matter. Give it up, because now that's going to be 4th and 6. Right? Like, do I want to go for it? Which they would have, because you're down 34-8.
I don't know, Schlegs. They had a 4th and 4 on their own 40.
That was the white flag. I heard Beam talk about that today, and that's a good job by Beam. I mean, like, somebody that's level of football was Centerville Elk, junior football, coached by his uncle, understanding that was literally the white flag, because if you're really trying to get in the mix and you're in the middle of the field, 4th and 4, like you would expect to go for it. It's like, no, we're just going to stop the bleeding because this could potentially be, 48-21, right? So anyways, I get it. I see it. But that's why I'm not concerned. And somebody also brought up, go ahead, go to that one.
Okay, yeah. We'll get to the other stuff. You can bring your other stuff up. All right, this one's coming, Schlegs. I have 2 more that I would like to. We'll get to this other one. There's a lot of
Get them both. Get them both, Bob.
Because we got dudes of the week we need to get to after this.
Okay.
This is coming from Brian Pokrajic. It's his handle is Serb in Ohio, so hopefully I didn't butcher his Serbian name. No questions, just a comment. Feels like the Buckeyes are cracking pads. This defense right now is violent. And so I remember some tweets, and I feel like I should dig them up about how they didn't hit enough and they were kind of soft and some different things after they lost to Michigan. This defense looks as fast and as violent as anyone I've ever seen. And so I think they're doing the same things that they were doing before, and you're just getting different results because you've stayed the course.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Bob. And first off, don't ever spend your bandwidth looking up other stuff from stupid people. So I would never do that. But hey, guess what? My Serbian buddy, I got you, man. I completely agree with you, because that was the number one thing. Bob, I think sometimes we should give ourselves some flowers, because we both picked not necessarily the right scores, but the right winners of every game,
Yeah.
And they literally did what we said that we wanted to do, like be fast and violent, right? Which they did. Get the balls to your dudes. I forgot the other ones that you and I both talked about, but they did all of the things. And again, this is how I like watching football. I root for Ohio State because I love Ohio State. I like watching ball and watching defenses, especially because those defenses that I watch play exactly like the Buckeye defense is playing. Guys,
Yeah.
8 sacks in this game. They didn't have 0 in the first game. Like, dudes are getting taken out of the game and tapping out of the game that could potentially play in the game. Why do I want to go back in? It's 34-8. I'm beat up now. How does that happen? They came in the game ready. They got hit. They got hit a lot. They got hit really hard. Like, you got to, like, do you want to go to that deep water? Our guys want to go there.
All right, Schlegs. I want to go to one more
Go
here.
do it. Do it. Just go do
I
it.
can't because it's a long question. I'm going to throw the question out there.
Fast
Oh, I
answer.
am. It's by our guy. It's by Hootie. And how does this team not get complacent after 2 big wins? We're going to get to that next show because I can't do it right now because it's a 5-minute conversation. Got Dude of the Week coming up next. All right. Dude of the Week, Schlegs. You go first.
Cody Simon, 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, drop pick. I just love the way that Cody's playing, man. I've loved it all year. You guys got to remember, Cody is a first-year starter like every single game. He's always had this ability. We knew he was that type of dude. His parents are military, extremely smart. Cody's that way. But, like, Cody is very quiet, but when he speaks, like, people listen, and it's because he's a pro's pro. He is very diligent about his work, and it's carrying over into this Buckeye defense, and I'm super proud of him. Bob.
And mine is going to be Tyleik Williams. We talked about him earlier, Schlegs. Kind of the unsung hero, him and Ty Hamilton inside. Ty got half a sack last game. So he got a little bit of love. Tyleik has no sacks, but I think he's caused about half of them with what he's done. So kudos to him. These guys have been great. Boom. We're going to be back in on Monday. Schlegs will be down there at the game for that. So we're going to have to figure out logistically how to make all this work, but we'll do it for you. We'll be rocking here. Have a good weekend. See you at 12:30 on Monday.